Today on The Social, are pockets political? Why some experts are fashioning a discussion on what the simple design choice actually says about feminism. And tuned in and turned on? A recent survey points to Gen Z learning about sex through film and TV. Does this give you cause to hit pause? Then, the one and only Sarah McLachlan joins us to chat about her return to music, her nationwide tour, and the TIFF documentary about the legendary Lilith Fair. Plus, love in the time of climate disaster. Piper Perabo dishes on the new dark rom-com Peak Everything and the 25th anniversary of Coyote Ugly. It all starts now on The Social.
Oh my gosh, first of all, thank you for the sign. It is The Social.
We love it.
Thank you so much. And I can tell also Sarah McLachlan fans sitting next to me. Right here, so thank you so much.
So great.
Listen, Sarah's going to be very happy because it turns out we've got 7 provinces here: BC, Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec, Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick.
So great,
Right?
so wonderful, so exciting. Okay, we're gonna start with this. Do you know the excitement you feel when you discover that your dress has pockets? Well, there's a We Want Pockets hashtag gaining momentum on social media as many young women call out why men's clothes have so many and women's so few. So a piece in the BBC looks at the history of pockets in fashion and the role they played to oppress women. So are pockets political?
Oh, interesting. Okay, I know a lot of you are saying they're not, but I actually think that they are, because men get pockets, women get purses. One means independence, the other one means dependence. So if you take a look at it, I'm going deep.
Okay, I like this.
Pockets are political. You just never thought about it hard enough, I think.
Okay.
When I go out, it's like I hate bringing a purse. I hate bringing all the crap, right? Because like my hands are always full. If I need to beat off a bear, and you never know when you're gonna have to do that, I'm so saddled down. I don't know if you remember, as soon as you had kids, now mom is saddled down with even more stuff, right?
Yeah.
We're always carrying stuff. We carry the baby bag, now I carry a purse. When you are able to just have pockets to carry what you need, what do you need these days? You need a lip gloss, you need your ID, and maybe your keys, right? That's all you need.
Phone.
And a phone, sure.
Yeah.
But mine has a strap, so I wear mine in a very fancy way, right?
Okay.
So in the past, a woman couldn't carry that stuff herself. She had to give her money to somebody else, probably a husband. She had to give her ID to somebody else. She couldn't run if she needed to for her independence. So today when I think, what is independence to me? It's not carrying my own garbage. So enter my lovely husband, Ryan Gadji, who is now affectionately known as the family's donkey. And he calls himself that. When I had Marquez, I said, I carried enough. So every time we travel, he carries, she's big now, he's not carrying. He always has the backpack. He purposely bought a jacket that has 15 pockets.
I love this.
So he carries everything, because you know what? To me, that means freedom and feminism.
Okay. I will agree with you. I do think, yes, pockets were political. They definitely were. This BBC article was very convincing of that. But are they still today? I'd argue no, because we as women can buy clothes with tons of pockets.
You can
Do you know what I
choose
mean? We
to.
can choose to buy
Okay,
clothes.
so then riddle me this. I just bought a fall jacket a couple weeks ago. 4 pocket flaps, not one real pocket. Explain that to me.
Explain. That is weird. I will explain it.
It's one thing to not have the pocket at all.
No!
Right?
It's the opposite of
It's
patriarchy.
another thing to have a fake pocket. Why the fake pocket?
Why did you buy the outfit with the fake pocket?
Because the jacket's really cute.
It's the woman's, but that's on you. That's not the patriarchy.
No,
that's interesting.
That's the opposite of the patriarchy. That's women using our buying power to dictate what we want. If you buy a thing with fake pockets, sorry, I'm disappointed in you, Andrea.
Well, here's the deal. You better be prepared to be disappointed in a lot of women because a lot of us buy things. You probably bought a blazer or a dress and you saw that slit and then you go, oh, it's not real.
you have to cut it.
It happens.
You have to cut it.
It's in so many. No, it's not that one. It's not the one where you have to like the
You gotta
stitching.
take your-
We're talking about there is a flap there. There's something there. So you're like, of course I would get this jacket because look, it has a pocket. And then you get home and you're like, oh, this pocket isn't real. They do that to so many articles of clothing. And listen,
But
I
maybe you have
understand.
to check it before you buy it.
No, I understand. Listen, it's in so many articles of clothing. It's not one thing. It's a lot of different items.
Hey, wait a minute. It's not also just gendered. Like I called Jason today and I was like, do you have any suits that are not, that have pockets that don't go anywhere? And he's like, yes.
Does he?
Yes, he does.
I've never
like,
seen
and
that.
kids' clothes too, a lot of times they have pockets that are useless. It's a weird, I think it's a fashion thing. So it's not
a money-saving
It
thing.
is. I have a kids' clothing line, and it costs a lot of money to the right zippers
There
and
you
the
go.
pockets.
Ooh, with the 300% markup that we're paying, give me some pockets.
Yeah, but it still costs money. No, it's true.
Give me some
But
pockets.
Would
not like
you
the clothes is
always?
cheap.
I'll just ask this last question. That like as much as we're saying it, and I do love a dress that has pockets. The one I'm wearing today does not have them.
Yeah,
But
I was checking
I'll
mine
just
and
say,
the-
like, if, for example, in a dress like this, like if I was to have a pocket, am I going to put something that's going to bulk up and put? Like, I'm not going to do that. So it is on us a little bit.
Okay.
We are actually
and
choosing.
I love that you said that because here's the deal. My outfit already adds bulk. I got all these shimmies. You could slide a pocket in there. No one would even see it.
Yeah.
But I don't
You
have
said
a
ID?
pocket. No pockets.
yeah,
so
yeah.
why not just add them? And with all the things that women are doing, all the things that we can do now in the 21st century, I understand the woman in the 18th century. She didn't need anything. She had all these people taking care of her. Now with everything, we should have 20 pockets on every single thing that we buy. For all
I
the things
found
that
one.
we are doing.
Wait, let me just see
And
if it's
what are you
real.
gonna put in that pocket?
Oh, it's on my neck. Oh, and it's fake.
Oh my God.
Can't.
This is what I'm talking about.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I don't know if we're solving the world's problems, but let's move on. Should you always shoot your shot when you're looking for love? Because American soccer player Noah Pilato, he shared on TikTok that a woman contacted him on LinkedIn for a job interview. He agreed to it, and then take a look at what he says happened next.
Answering all these questions, la-di-da. She finishes asking, and then she goes, "No, I have to be honest with you. This whole thing is completely made up." I was like, "What?" She's like, "I just really wanted to get you on the phone. I had no idea how else to get your attention, and this is the only thing I could think of."
So is it ever appropriate to use LinkedIn, we know it's a business networking site, as a dating site?
Listen, fresh off my anger of fake pockets, now this. Now this, listen, to each their own. If you're okay with someone sliding into your DMs and that's the way you want to meet people, to you, I wish you all the best. For me, it's a major turnoff. The first reason why is because, first of all, this is a website that is specifically for business. So the idea of a man thinking that he's going to use a business website to kind of come at me romantically, I'm telling you, don't do it. You're going to be talking to yourself in that DM. I'm not doing it.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Secondly, anybody who's been on the dating scene, you probably know that most times I always imagine the guy that's sliding into my DMs, he's sliding into a lot of people's DMs because he's fishing with a net. So it's a copy and paste in a lot of different women's DMs, and he's just waiting to see who's going to respond. And then thirdly, and what I've learned in my dating life is that there are a lot of weird people out there, including what that guy just. That's a weird thing that girl did. I'm sorry.
It's weird.
I need chemistry, and chemistry happens face to face. I'm sorry, if you can't reach me, I'm so sorry, but I'm not doing this DM thing, and I think it's a weird thing to do, especially using LinkedIn, because that is for business, not for your pleasure. What are you doing?
I see what you're saying, but what if you're trying to find your soulmate, and your soulmate, you want them to be as deeply passionate about PowerPoint and Excel and Q3 quarter synergy findings. Where else are you supposed
Here's
to look
what you
except
do, Jess.
LinkedIn?
I love your passion for PowerPoint. That's amazing. But if you can find them on LinkedIn, they likely can be found on another social media platform. I think, especially if you're a woman, in this case it was a guy, but I think if you're a woman, can you please protect the last space online that we are not going to be harassed?
Ooh, that's a great
That's
point.
number one. Number two, also, if you cannot respect the boundary between personal and business online, where else are you going to disrespect boundaries? So if you can't respect that, I'm with Andrea.
What
You're
is
out.
our sex expert thing?
Yeah.
Oh, we have no time.
We'll talk about it later. Okay, after the break, a recent survey found that Gen Z relies on film and television to teach them about sex. So, does this surprise you? Does it give you pause? We're going to give you our take right after this.
Monday on The Social, it's our Annie's After Party. We round up all the hottest looks from TV's biggest night.
We would love to have you here live in studio. We are having a fabulous time together. All you have to do is scan the QR code that's on the screen right now, and y'all know how much it is to be here, right? $9.99. Thank you.
Listen, I'm sure most of us appreciate a good sex scene, but it turns out that Gen Z, or Gen Z if you're Canadian, might actually rely on them. A Cosimo survey found 43% of young people over the age of 18 felt more knowledgeable about sex after watching shows like Bridgerton, Girls, and Normal People. So is it good or bad that Gen Z relies on TV and film for sex education, sex knowledge, sex curiosity?
Boo, eh?
We don't like it.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so first of all, obviously I'm a sex educator. I'm a big proponent of sex education. I think that goes without saying. And I take issue with maybe this is a survey, so let's not assume that all Gen Z relies on this as their sex education. But I will say, I think there's not a problem with this. And in fact, I think it's actually a better thing today than it was in our generation, many of our generations. I grew up learning about sex like so many people, like watching like Fast Times at Ridgemont High, watching Porky's, watching like, I'm trying to think about many, like Blue Lagoon,
all those Fatal Attraction.
And they were, we remember all those. Right, and they were oftentimes kind of problematic, a little bit sexist through a male lens, whereas today you have things like Girls, right, which depicted like messy, awkward, self-pleasure, like all these different kinds of sex. And so I think that there's a different conversation and a different opportunity to learn for this generation that we didn't have. So I'm not gonna crap on it.
That's a really good
perspective.
That's a really good perspective.
I'm going to say, as a parent, this is a very controversial topic for some people. Anywhere you are in this country, anywhere in the world, when you start talking about sex ed, my head immediately goes to schools, and there's been different school boards that have had trouble where parents are like, do not be the one to teach my child sex ed. Okay, fine. If you want to be the one to teach your child sex, if you don't want the school to be the one to teach your child sex ed, then parents, it must be on you then to teach the sex ed. And why that's important is that's very personal. Every family is going to have a different take on it. Your belief system, your value system, your religion, it's going to guide you and inform you differently as a parent. So I get it. We need to, as parents, get over our own stuff. If it's icky, if it's weird, if it's awkward, it's either you get over yourself or your child might be learning from porn what sex is. Let's do it.
Might be. They most definitely will be, because I was one of the few, and I didn't realize when my mom set me down when I was 9 years old to give me the sex talk. First of all, I thought I'd done something wrong. I was like, why are we having this discussion? And then as I got older, I realized I was the only one out of all of my peers who had that chat with their parent. Everybody else was learning from all of these different places, usually porn, some movie. And it was very interesting because I'm like, it's such an important part of our lives. So I'm curious with the parents, don't you want to have some kind of control about when your child learns, how your child learns about it, and not leave it to some TV show or whatever online? I think it's very interesting. But again, I'm wondering if it's not so much about the sex, like the intercourse, and more about relationships. Because I've said this, I've had a lot of sex ed, I've heard all the information. No one has ever taught me how to navigate the emotional stuff when it comes to relationships. So the books that I really like Judy Blume, and the shows that I'm drawn on to. Netflix has this great one called Forever. It's so good. That kind of stuff, no one ever sat me down and said, okay, so this is how you navigate your feelings when you fall in love for the first time. Or this is how you find your boundaries. And consent. No one talks about that, because you know what? The kids are going to figure out how to put slot A into slot B. But you got to talk to them about all the emotional stuff that it comes with.
But you know what surprised me about this? I don't know if it raises any flags for you, but that this survey was for Gen Z, over the age 18 or older. Like when 18 or older, your sex ed, I mean, shouldn't you kind of know by then? Do you know what I mean? When we're talking about the shows that we used to watch, like for me it was Fatal Attraction, not the bunny scene, the sink scene. If you know it, you know it. But like I was 13 because I was watching what my parents were watching, for better or worse, because think about generationally, there was only one screen. One screen in the whole house, right? Which is kind of, it's interesting.
Yes, it is.
All right, so we're gonna leave it there. That was weird. That was awkward, kind of like your first time having sex. Kind of awkward. All right, so let's move on. If you love to watch the in-flight map when you're traveling, you're not alone. According to the Washington Post, there are many map fans out there who choose to stare at the plane's progress rather than watch a movie. Who are these people? I'm curious. Melissa. Okay, girl, break this down for me.
I will let you in on our little secret. I have flight anxiety. I used to have a full-blown phobia. I went to therapy for it. So I will say, I'm not just your regular, turbulence makes me nervous. In the past, that could put me into a full-blown anxiety attack. And then I'm on the floor in the kitchen area. It got that bad. So for me, I now have a ritual that keeps me calm. And it all has to do with locus of control, right? It's that psychological term. How much control do you feel that you have? So I have a ritual. And one of the things is like working out hard before a flight. I meditate before a flight. I do all these things. And the other thing I do is I immediately put on the flight map. Oh, by the way, I also do my turbulence forecast before I fly. So that I know at what hour I can expect turbulence, so it's not a surprise. It's all about control. So for me, when I watch the screen and I feel like, okay, we're on track. That's the flight path. We're on the right flight path. That makes me feel good. Everything is going as planned. It's very soothing. It's very soothing.
It's about, what if I could give you even more control?
Tell me.
Hear me out, you guys. On the plane, I only recently discovered this. You have it on airplane mode, right? But open your Maps app, Google Maps, for example, and the pin will still show you where you are. Because my problem with the map that's on the back of the chair is that it doesn't give you any detail. Like, I want to know if I get a window seat, what body of water is that I'm flying over? What's that mountain range? You can pull up your Google Maps and there's a little dot and you can zoom in and see the city, the mountains. So, and it's just endlessly entertaining.
Okay, wait, I'm sorry. Am I the only one here who thinks that watching that map is like watching a pot of water boil? Like, I'm sorry. That plane is moving a millimeter every hour. What are you watching?
But imagine if you were over the pyramids.
No. But you can't see that from all the way up there.
But
and
just
if something
knowing
is to happen, and explain, if something were to happen, how does looking at that plane on that map gonna help you if the plane is to unfortunately go down?
It's not about that. There's nothing rational about what I'm saying.
Okay, I just need to know that.
It's not
thank you.
rational.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes me feel better.
Yeah, of course. I'm a weirdo. We haven't established that yet. I'm a total wacky weirdo. Let's take a break, everybody. And then Jess Allen, you're gonna tell us all about a very special place that will always have a pizza. What? We'll have a pizza, her heart?
Yeah, get it? Like a pizza.
A piece of her heart.
But it's pizza. Alex Slabby, our writer.
Oh, wow,
Shout out to
I failed.
Boston, Alex.
Wow. I'm weird and I can't read. Okay, let's take a break. We'll be back right after this. We'll be back.
Welcome back, everybody. Some people say you can never go home, but I wanted to test that theory. I took a visit to a place near and dear to my heart, Tironi Restaurant on Queen Street in Toronto, to meet up with my old boss and celebrate his new cookbook while reminiscing over some of our favorite dishes. Take a look. So I am back where it all started.
Yes.
1992, the original Tironi, the original owner, Cosimo Mammoliti, my former
Sorry,
boss.
I thought you were going to say where your career started.
Actually, you're not wrong. Washing dishes.
I was going to say, you probably started off even back there washing dishes.
Yep.
No, you wash dishes and make coffee.
And it was such a good job.
Yeah, it was fun.
I could look down the bar and you would be making pizzas.
Pizzas.
This cookbook is truly a work of art. I gotta ask, after 30-some years, why now? Why do you want to share these beloved recipes?
It wasn't about sharing the recipes, it was just having something to pass on to my kids and my family. It was more for that.
Well, the funghi assoluti, I feel like this is such an iconic dish for Tironi. This idea of the mushrooms, the baked mushrooms, is something from Puglia?
Funghi assoluti, it was like kind of the dialect for just meaning just mushrooms. It's like, I don't know, I don't think it's gonna really just sell the mushrooms on itself, right?
In Toronto at that time
right?
too,
So
right?
I added the arugula and then I put the mushrooms on top and the balsamic vinegar and olive oil and parmigiano, and it just became more of a salad.
And now I can make this at home.
Yes, you can.
I see a Santo Spirito.
Yes.
And I don't know if you know this.
Oh.
This is the pizza that made me like anchovies. I remember it was your favorite pizza.
Oh,
And I
you're
was
making me proud.
This guy knows something. But as like a, am I allowed to say mancha cake? But as someone who is not Italian, like I would all of a sudden turn into. Non parlo italiano molto bene, ma io capisco italiano, non c'è male.
Bravissima.
Ah, grazie. And I know a lot of swear words.
I know
too.
you do, you said it earlier. She can't help herself.
Can't.
Yeah,
Garganelli Geppetto.
Geppetto.
Go on.
Ah, well, this is dear to my heart, this dish, because it's named after my father's nickname was Geppetto. You know, he loved hanging out with the cooks and the chefs, and he would make the sausage. So this pasta was named after him because of the sausage and the dandelion, the cicoria, because he used to pick cicoria too. When we were kids, you stop, I'd be with him, stop on the side of the road sometimes. It just, what are you doing? He used to be picking cicoria.
It was so good seeing you, and it feels like no time has passed in a way. And is the door always open? If
It's always open
doesn't
for
work
you.
out, I can come back.
Yeah.
Yes, that was so touching. So if anybody caught that, you started there as a dishwasher. It sounds like you did the coffee. It sounds like you kind of did everything. Did you have a favorite job at Tironi?
Well, after the dishwasher and making coffee, I was a server, and then I was a manager, and then even when I got a job at a magazine, I continued to keep my Friday night management shift because I missed the restaurant environment.
Nice.
But my favorite is probably dishwasher. I kid you
Really?
not.
Why?
You're in your own head. You don't have to deal with the public, but you're still in the middle of it all.
Yeah.
And you just felt like you accomplished it. Like all these dishes are clean because of me.
Yeah.
I loved it.
No, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that interview. That was very sweet, and also know your beginnings. I'm a little sad there's no food on the table, but I don't want to make a big fuss about it.
Oh my gosh,
Because I know that, right? Well, I'm just saying, because I know
Yeah.
you're a huge foodie, and I'm wondering, is it because of that first job working at Tironi's?
You know what? I think so. I think it taught me mostly about food history. Cosimo was adamant about not changing certain dishes because that's the way they've been made for 100, sometimes 200 years. And sometimes you got some flack about that, not having chicken on pizza, for example. But it really made me interested in where food history comes from and how it evolves.
Tironi on Queen is like an iconic institution. There have been so many famous people who've gone there. And I'm not trying to steer you in that direction, but I'm just curious, do you have a favorite memory of your time there?
Oh my goodness, there were a lot of celebrities. I should write a memoir called Serving Celebrities, the Jess Allen story. But my favorite memory, and it just occurred to me this morning, was that I met a young man out front of the restaurant named Simon Gadke. And I fell in love with him, and that was 20 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that job gave you a lot.
I had a crush. I had a crush on a dishwasher who happened to be Simon's best buddy. And Simon came to meet the dishwasher. I was like, oh, who's this guy? Had a little Toronto library bag over his shoulder, was showing his friend these DVDs and books he got out. And yeah, flash forward to today. Yeah, well, that's a pretty good
Look
memory.
at that.
Hey guys, I am so thrilled for Cosimo. He and his team have created something absolutely spectacular. I've already made a couple of dishes from this book, La Cucina di Tironi. It's out now, but guess what? You're all going home with your own. It's beautiful. Oh, guess what? We're gonna be right back, and you know who you're coming back with? A legend, Sarah McLachlan!
Welcome back to the show. Okay, everybody, hold on to your seats because our next guest is a Grammy and Juno award-winning artist with over 40 million albums sold worldwide. She is also the founder of the groundbreaking all-female music festival Lilith Fair, which is at the center of a riveting new documentary premiering here at TIFF. Take a look.
And I realized that I was missing that sense of connection and community. I feel lonely. This is a weird job, and it would be so nice to connect with other women who are doing a similar thing to me. But that's when promoters started saying, you can't do this. Saying, you can't put two women on the same bill, people won't come, which was complete bullshit.
The documentary is called Lilith Fair, Building a Mystery, and the one and only Sarah McLachlan joins us in studio today. Oh, Sarah, we're delighted to see you. And it's been 26 years since you founded Lilith Fair. And you created this festival. I mean, we all remember growing up with this. And it was at a time when the music industry was, I think it's fair to say, a fairly toxic place for female musicians in particular. What were some of the things, we were just seeing a hint of it right there in that clip, but what were some of the other things you were up against at that time?
Just this general sense of we as women were offered this very tiny sliver of the pie. Like it was just a mirror of all the other industries and worlds out there. And you know, I look at music as this inclusive, beautiful thing that's meant to be shared by everybody. And I would go into radio stations and they say, well, we love your song, but we can't add you this week because we added Tracy Chapman or we added Tori Amos. And they kind of just lumped us all together. And I thought, that doesn't make any sense. And so when I thought about putting together a festival, really innocent first idea of like, let's just do this. There's all these other festivals and they're all completely male dominated, yet all these women are coming up and having great success. Let's just do something ourselves. And then talking to the promoter saying, you can't do that. You can't put two women on the same bill, people won't come. In the same way as you can't put two women on the radio, people will change the channel. I thought, well, that's ridiculous. I've had women open up for me. I've sold out. This makes no sense to me. And of course, the other thing is when someone says, you can't do something to me.
Yes.
Well, if that doesn't
I'm gonna do it. Yes. I mean, the amount of talent that you were able to bring together for Lilith Fair was just incredible. Tracy Chapman, Sheryl Crow, Erykah Badu, Sinead O'Connor, just to name a few. So many others. They performed at Lilith Fair. And this film gives us a peek into this sisterhood that you created. I mean, there were different flavors and different energies that came about, but there was this interesting thing that you definitely created. When you think about those backstage memories, Jewel was another one who's featured. Yeah. What are some of the memories that come to mind?
The creation of community, the creation of a safe space where we all could just be ourselves and talk about the crazy and kind of weird and isolated thing it is to be a woman in the music industry and to be a touring artist. Like, our bands were mostly guys, the crew was mostly guys, so it was lonely. And to create this opportunity for us to come together as artists and talk about that, but also to play and sing together. This was, for me, meeting my idols, meeting people I was so in awe of, and getting to actually sing with them every night. So the creation of that, for me, was really amazing. And by proxy, the creation that the audience felt that same sense of connectedness, and that we were all there sharing this, you know, this energy together and moving together to create a powerful change in the world.
It clearly resonated. Absolutely. Well, Lilith Fair clearly resonated. It grossed over $60 million, which is big money back then. Big money. It was a launching pad, not only a really established female artist, but also launching Nelly Furtado, launching Christina Aguilera. You raised millions of dollars for charity, even.
Over
you were
$7 million over the 3 years.
There you go. Like, that's amazing. And the concept of that, you were also the first tour to offer extended health care to the crew. Like, these ideas, just amazing things happen when women come together. But of all the things, the lasting things, what do you think was really the lasting success or legacy of the festival?
I think there's a few legacies. My music school is one of those. I took the money I made from Lilith and put it into a foundation and then started a free after-school music program, which...
So good. So good.
It started with about 200 kids, and now we've grown to those over 1,200 students a year across 3 schools, Vancouver, Edmonton, and New Westminster. And so the legacy of giving, that continues on in helping young artists find their voice in a really safe, nurturing environment. And I think we changed the attitudes within the industry. We certainly changed those, those old school attitudes of you can't play women together. It's like, well, we blew those things out of the water. So it did change things. And I think in some ways it opened the door for other young artists and other young women coming up in the industry, either in our industry or others. Like, I've had so many people come up to me and say, you all showed me that I could do and be anything. I could dream big. And now I'm a woman running a corporation, and I hire women, and I pull other women alongside.
Can we talk a little bit? The industry has changed a lot since then. You think about women are really dominating in music in particular.
Yeah, look at the airwaves right now.
That's right. Think about
Pop
Beyonce and
music
Taylor
is
Swift and
all
all
women.
those things.
Yeah.
But yet last year it was found that less than 25% of musicians on stage at major US festivals were women.
Yeah.
So do you think we need another Lilith Fair today, and how might it be different?
It's a really good question. I think a new version or a new concept around that could work. I think, the million-dollar question is, will you do that? And I already did that. And I think, and, things are different now, and the need is different. And I really think if something like that were to succeed, it would need to be spearheaded by an artist of today, someone who is up and coming and has new ideas. If you'll notice, I think in the documentary, well, people haven't seen it yet, but it was exhausting and overwhelming, and it totally took over 3 years of my life, and it was amazing. But I was a whole lot younger then. And at this age, we have to figure out how to conserve our energy to do all the things we need to do.
Yes,
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can we talk about that era? Because we've seen you go through different eras as you've evolved as an artist,
Yeah.
And you're now in a new era. You are releasing.
I'm childless.
Oh.
Well, I shouldn't say that. I still
Empty
have children.
nester.
I'm an empty nester.
Empty nester.
I'm not childless. I'm an empty nester.
You're an empty
yes.
nester,
Yeah.
which allows you the time.
All of a sudden, I have way more time.
Way more
Yeah.
time, and is that why you're releasing your next album, Better Broken, next week?
Yes. Well,
New material. First of all, wow.
Oh.
First time, new material, 11 years.
Yeah.
What era is Sarah McLachlan in right now?
reclamation of self.
Wow.
I look at that picture, and I see like a strength, and I see myself going through all the challenges and iterations, and I feel so confident at 57, where it's like I actually know a few things now,
Yes.
and I know what I'm willing to deal with and what I'm willing not to deal with, and talking about my energy, and I only want to be around people who give energy and not just take it anymore. So being much more selective in my life with people.
Amen to that. Listen, I want to quickly fit in. You are embarking on the 30th anniversary tour of Fumbling Towards Ecstasy next month.
Yes.
A new Lilith Fair documentary that we're talking about here today. What is it that you want to hold on to as you move forward now?
That sense of authenticity. And I mean, I've always tried to be my authentic self at all times. And I think I've managed to do a fairly good job of holding on to it, but just the sense that I feel powerful right now as a woman, as an advocate, as a mother, as a humanitarian, and I love the momentum that I feel with this, and it's such a great opportunity, I think, to use this platform for something bigger than myself, which was what Lilith was all about, and if I can continue to promote love And music is a beautiful bridge, and I think it's an opportunity to continue to create connection in a time when we are constantly being told that we have to be on opposite sides of the fence, and everybody's
We need it more than ever.
We need connection now more than ever.
Yeah.
Sarah, it is such a pleasure having you on the show again. Thank you so much for being here. We want to let everyone know Lilith Fair, Building a Mystery, is premiering at TIFF this weekend and will be available on CBC and CBC Gem on Wednesday, September 17th. And Sarah's album, Better Broken, it comes out on September 19th. Check it out. And don't go anywhere because Piper Perabo is here next to chat about her new TIFF film. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. You know and love our next guest from her work in Coyote Ugly, Covert Affairs, right? Yellowstone, and now she's starring in a new and imaginative rom-com about a man who falls in love with his tech support worker.
Please welcome star of Peak Everything, Piper Perabo. We're so thrilled to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Congratulations on this film. It's so unique and so beautiful. And in it, we meet Adam, who suffers from depression and climate anxiety. So he buys one of those light therapy boxes and enter your character, Tina, because you're the customer service rep, helping him out. So when you read this script, what did you think?
I mean, I loved it so much. I didn't even know if my character was real at first because for the first 20 minutes, she's just on the phone with him. And I felt like, oh, maybe I don't have to do any costumes or memorize my lines. I could just be on the phone the whole time. But it's shot on film, first of all, which is so beautiful. And I haven't done a film on film in quite some time. But also, they meet over a landline. Like, it's a really lo-fi love story. And I think right now, with all the apps and everything, it's nice to see a love story where you meet someone kind of IRL.
I mean, it's a very modern rom-com in some other ways as well, even though we love the analog side of it as well. But your chemistry is bonkers. So how do you create that? How do you prep for that? How do you make that magic happen?
It's like, I think it's so Canadian to tell you this, but we both fly fish.
Oh my God. We bonding over fly fishing.
Yeah, the opening dinner when the director was like, you have to meet him and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And I said, oh, nice to meet you, how are you? And he's like, oh, I'm like tired, I've been fly fishing all day. I was like, oh, I fly fish too. I was like, this is the most Canadian thing.
That's so perfect.
That is insane.
Random.
Oh my
So
God.
random.
I mean, I really love that it felt like two people looking for love and connection, sort of at the end of the world, but they connect over the phone, as you said. So have you ever felt that spark with someone in real life without meeting them first, like just sort of from a distance?
I mean, not with the person that I then ever met. Like sometimes I felt that reading a book or reading a poem, you know, you kind of connect to something that someone's written and you don't have a chance to meet them. And that's sort of what I was thinking about when I was doing this idea of how could you just hear a voice over a phone, and when the guy sort of starts flirting with you, not to be like, but to sort of be like, okay, you know?
One of the great things about this film is that it's bilingual, and I understand that it was shot both in Ontario and Quebec. So I'm just curious, how is your French? Tu parles un peu de français?
Je parle un petit peu de français, but it was nerve-wracking because the whole crew is francophone first, and so they're speaking so much French. Yeah. So a lot of times I would have to go over to Patrick Yvonne and be like, just tell me like the basics of what we're about to do.
Listen, Anne Damon wrote and directed this film as she was going through depression, and she actually wrote this in front of her own therapy lamp, which is fascinating. And she also said there are a lot of men struggling with their mental health right now. So what can we learn from Adam's story of how men cope with what we are calling this loneliness epidemic?
What I think is so brave about this film is how open Adam is to looking for ways to try and heal himself. And he's talking to a shrink, he's trying medication, he's trying meditation, he's trying exercise, therapy limb. There's no shame in him looking for on his mental health journey. And I think it's really cool to see that modeled by a man right now.
That's very true.
Fantastic. At the top, I mentioned some of the great projects that you've been a part of, and Coyote Ugly is one of them. And I couldn't believe this when I read it, right?
Oh my gosh.
I know. This summer marks the 25th anniversary of Coyote Ugly. I know.
Isn't that?
I thought the same thing. So when you look back on that, what do you remember? Like, do you have any fond memories about that?
I mean, making that movie was so wild. You can imagine it's like all these girls and we just run the place and we were all so young and like it was our big chance, you know, and we have to learn the dances and the songs and the acting. And so we were all kind of in over our heads, but I think that was also what bonded us together. That was a great experience.
Yeah, we love watching it.
We love watching it like I lived it with you, like you were my everything. I wore
You're
all
welcome
your
to the bar
outfits,
anytime.
which is why we want to know, is there any truth to the rumor that there will be a Coyote Ugly sequel?
I mean, I'm not supposed to say.
It's only my friends.
It's just us. It's
just
just like the 30 of us,
It's
right?
just fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
There's like maybe some discussions among original forces, but it's just.
Give us Tyra Banks' number right now. Right now,
If
Tyra.
it was up to Tyra, we'd be doing it like right now.
Okay,
She's
okay.
always like, girl, what are you doing?
Okay.
So we will hold out some hope for that.
Yeah, there's hope.
Okay, Piper, you are so wonderful. Thank you so much for coming and chatting with us today. So, Peak Everything makes its premiere this Saturday at the Toronto International Film Festival, and it's going to be in theaters on September 26th. You don't want to miss this, and don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Woo! I will die.
Oh, Canada. We're celebrating the true north, strong and free. From coast to coast.
We're celebrating everything we love about home.
Right here on The Social.
Weekdays at 2.
All right, everybody, Sunday, the Emmys go down. That means Monday here on the show, we're gonna do our whole after show. We're gonna talk about the red carpet, what goes down, what went down. So please watch that Sunday, watch us Monday. And then also Monday, stylist Jason Lee is back. We're gonna get our own red carpet worthy hair. And dermatologists approved tips to, we want the best skincare as we age, right? Best skincare as we age, so that's gonna be on Monday's show. And Jess Allen, you shared your own Coyote Ugly tidbit that I had never heard of before.
Well, I didn't know it was going to be brought up again, so I'd have to say it on national television. Thanks, Mel. But very briefly, 25 years ago, I was in New York for an art history conference, such a good girl, and I ended up at the Coyote Ugly bar on which the film is based in the East Village, and I did dance on the bar, and I did give my bra. You gave your bra. So for the rest of the conference, I only packed one bra. So the rest of the conference,
only bra away?
yeah, it was in the moment. Like, yeah.
Wow.
It's still there? I'm gonna have to go back and do some research to see if it's still hanging.
Wow.
Yeah.
I never thought I could learn more about you and love you more.
Or have more respect for me.
That too, that too.
Before, no.
Hey, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. You were awesome. You were awesome for being here. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Take care.